Hey, beautiful people. Hope you all are doing very well. Welcome back to the Young and Independent Show, where we discuss a variety of topics to help young folks live lives that are spiritually fulfilled, lives that are value added, lives that are less materialistic, and lives that are financially independent. I'm your host, Sil, and tonight I want to talk about a business opportunity that young people in Cameroon in particular. This podcast is going to be Cameroon centric because, I think that young people in Cameroon can wake up to this opportunity and do something big with it. I wrote an article yesterday about India beating the UK economy in terms of GDP. It's a watershed moment, no doubt, and I think that if young Africans wake up to this reality or to the famous African proverb that the first shall be the last and the last shall be the first, then Africa can indeed become the first. But the first thing that needs to change, as we all know, is the mindset. Why? Because your mind, you who is listening to me right now, your mind is your most profitable business. That's why it is said, mind your business. Mind your business doesn't mean don't poke your nose into other people's things. That's a cutting meaning. Mind your business means that you should make sure that you protect your mind, which is your most profitable business, which is your treasure pot, which is your which is where everything, that you have or anything that mankind has ever achieved, it started there in the mind. That's the business place, the business hub. Your mind is your business hub. All the business ideas that you have, they're all boiling in there in one place, your mind. So Africans, young Africans, especially my Cameroonian brothers and sisters, have to focus on minding their business. Yeah. So if we start to mind our businesses, our gorgeous minds, our smart minds, then we can start to mimic the things that people have done that have succeeded. What am I talking about? So two of the things that China did to be able to be number two. China is threatening to take over the world in terms of world power. And America is just going to sit back and be answerable to China if things keep going the way they're going. And if America doesn't stay on their toes. In the past, I don't know if you know this, but in the past, China used to be super poor, and America used to literally send their rubbish to China. China was being paid to collect rubbish from America. I'm telling you all, the UK used to pay China because they were so broke. Imagine that your neighbor pays you to come and collect rubbish from their house. Yeah, you're living in Douala. Imagine that your neighbor, who has a massive gate, beautiful house, gorgeous interior, pays you because you've got a Carabot house to collect their rubbish and to dispose of their rubbish. That's what used to happen in the past. China used to be the dome or the refuge point for European and countries and America. Okay? Today, as I speak to you, China is number 2 world power. Number 2. Ahead of Russia, ahead of the United Kingdom, ahead of France, ahead of Italy, ahead of Spain, ahead of New Zealand, ahead of all these G20 world powers. China is number 2 and threatening America, ruffling shoulders basically. What happened? China liberalized and China produced. What in the world nowadays? What do you know? What do you know in the world that China cannot make. Even nuclear weapons, China can make theirs. What are we talking about? When I look back, at Africa and Cameroon in particular, let me not even go into complex things. Let me not make this podcast long. Let me not go into complex things. But I want to ask you, as a young person who is currently struggling to put food on your table, no. All the money has already been printed. It's just waiting for you to come and get it. Money's just waiting for you to come and get it, because we think that money is such an issue. No, money is not the problem. Ideas is the problem. And that's why I want to share this idea with you, my Cameroonian folks, today. So those of us who are in Beng, right, there's something called Uber Eats. I know that there's no Uber in Cameroon, but there's something called Uber Eats. There's also Talabat. There are a couple of, when Uber Eats started, then competition started. What does Uber Eats do? Someone sat somewhere and thought, oh my God, there's so many restaurants around. And there's so many people who would like to eat, but they would not like to go to the restaurant, actually. How can we serve them? How can we solve a problem? Because sometimes people are, playing video games, people are having fun, and they become hungry and they don't want to jump into their cars. I mean, sometimes it's very cold as well. Sometimes people are working in the office. They don't have a minute to go and have lunch. So someone said, oh, gosh, let me think. Uber is already driving people around. Why can't we just use the same concept and deliver food to people? Now, this is where you guys come in, my Cameroon folks. I had given this idea to a friend, but she didn't run with it. I want you to think about this deeply. When you go to sleep tonight, I promise to send out this podcast today, and I'm sending it out because man is their word. Without your word, you ain't got nothing. Because if you cannot make your word and keep your word, then no one can trust you, right? You're not reliable. So I'm making this podcast, although it's late. But I want you to go to bed tonight thinking about this. How many restaurants are in your neighborhood? How many restaurants? For those of you in Douala, this is a gold mine. This is a business idea that I would have exploited if I came back to Cameroon. I'm telling you these things because I've learned them. I know that Cameroon doesn't have these concepts. You cannot act upon an information that you don't have. That's why I'm giving you this information. They say information is power. That's a lie. That's a big lie. Information ain't no power. Power is when you take information, when you access information and you use it, then you become powerful. For those of you who will take this information tonight and act upon it and start making money, then with money comes power. Period. All the powerful people in the world, they've got money. They've got shishi, mungums. Yeah, that's true. Let's not beat about the bush. Money is very important. So when you go to sleep tonight, I want you to think about this money idea and think very deeply. How many restaurants do you know around your neighborhood, sorry? How many restaurants do you know, for those of you who are in Boya, Douala, Yaoundé, Bamenda? How many restaurants? Now, think about the number of people who work in hospitals around you, who work in offices around you, who work in, I don't know, all these people who work in all these places, they want to eat. They want to eat. How about you decide that, okay, tomorrow when you wake up in the morning, or at the weekend, if you want to make this your side hustle, how about you wake up at the weekend and you go around your neighborhood and look at all the restaurants that are there. You take a piece of paper or perhaps take a book, 20-leaf exercise book, buy a book, take a pen, walk around each restaurant, you write the name, you walk into the restaurant, you ask to see their menu, take a snapshot of their menu with your mobile phone. Don't sit there and copy their menu. You're going to look very weird. Don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it. Just go in there, take a picture of the menu, and if you're hungry, just sit down and have some food. But if you're not, you can say, thank you so much, I'll be back. And you walk out and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Just keep going to each restaurant around you, to the vicinity that you want to cover. Go as far as you want to cover. Now, when you've done that, you go home. No, before you go home, actually, as you're noticing the restaurants, be noticing the people who are around, or the offices that are around there, or that are not too close to that restaurant. And sometimes even when it's closed, people don't want to go out. People are busy. And the solution that you're going to be bringing to them is comfort. I call it hassle-free. I literally created a group on Facebook called Hassle-Free Life. You go on and create a group as well on Facebook. It is free, completely free of charge. If you don't want to create a group, that's totally fine. But the important thing is the next step that I'm about to tell you. Now that you have their menus, what can you do with that information? How can you make that information powerful? You will go back to these restaurants. So you sit down at your own comfort where no one is looking at you and saying, why is this guy copying my menu? And say, oh, why is this lady copying my menu? Are they my competition and are they trying to steal my business idea? No, we're not having that. Whilst in the comfort of your home, write down the different menus and the different restaurants. Copy everything down. It's not going to take you, even if it takes you one day, that's your $1 million business idea that you're working on. Now, go back to these restaurants and talk to these people, the restaurant owners, and say, I'm trying to come up with a business concept to partner with your restaurant to deliver food to people who cannot come to your restaurant. Are you in or out? All you need to do is to communicate the menu with me. Work with me, basically. In the morning when you wake up, please send the menu to me via WhatsApp. I'm going to now communicate the menu to the different people that I intend to supply to. The people who are working in the garage, the people who are working in the hospital, the people who are working in offices, in banks. I don't know, you name it. You know the people working around you. Go and talk to them. Once you've had the first, you want to make sure that the restaurant is willing to work with you. Don't go and run your mouth to people and tell them that I'm going to come and supply food to you every break time, whatever, when the restaurant hasn't agreed. Go to the restaurants, the different restaurants, and enter into an agreement with them. Now, where are you going to make your money? You're going to make your money in between as a middleman. So you're going to tell the restaurant that, okay, you're going to give me a plate. If you're selling a plate at 1,000, I'm going to get you at 800. And you're going to resell it to the people at the office for 1,200 or 1,500. You will charge them for transport. Because if they were leaving to go to that restaurant and sit down there, 1, they'll be losing time. 2, they'll be paying transport in some cases. 3, they'll be losing comfort. So if they want to eat at the office, that's what you're bringing to them. People, add value to people's lives and make money. Money is going to follow you. What is their pain point? How can you serve them? That's what you should be thinking about. How can you serve the people? Even in houses, there are people who cannot cook. Young people who cannot cook. How can you serve them? Can you get food delivered to them? University students. Can you get food delivered to them in their mini-cities, in their flats, in their bedrooms, on their beds, in their toilets? I'm just kidding, sorry. But make it as comfortable as possible and charge a premium. People will pay any day, any time. Listen, I pay for people to come and deliver food to me because you know what? Some days I get very lazy. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to move a finger. When I'm doing my thing, when I'm working on a project, or right now if I'm doing a podcast, and I just want to talk to you guys, I'm just going to go online and say, you know what, I'm going to order food. You know, this guy who has now since you've entered into partnership with these restaurants, you will send the menu and your people will now be contacting you to say, okay, I want kati, or I want ekwang, I want eru, I think get some achu, you know, I want conchaf, I want sanga, you know, all those I want dole amiondo. I miss dole amiondo. I want achu with kanda at the side, and I want 3 meats with some jama and some egusi. Aish, God, oh, I miss Cameroon. I want roasted fish with some small pepper for corner and some mayonnaise and some ketchup. Oh, I want grilled chicken, half chicken. Oh my God, what are you guys thinking? There's money to be made in that country. Use this business idea and think big. Think about automating it. Think about making it automatic without you necessarily being available. That's the next step. The next step is to create an app like Uber Eats, where you have all the menus of the different restaurants that you are working with on the app. If anybody wants to eat, especially those University of Boya, University of Bamenda, SWA students, if they want to eat, they just go onto your app. You can call the app your name. You can give it a really cool name. You just go on to the app and you tell them, you know what? These are all the meals that are available for today, and these are all the restaurants, different restaurants serving the meal. They just click, order their food, and you deliver it. Pap, finished. You just get some bike riders, you know, and agree with them that, okay, you have your bike. You don't need to have any, you just need to use your brain. You don't need to own the bikes. You just need to agree with the guys that this is how much you can make in a day if you're running errands, delivering food. Are you willing to work with me? Okay. That's how you do it. You can start with one and you grow as a concept becomes solid, and as you understand it, you just grow. And at some point you get your own fleet. Why not? You can make a business plan and present it to someone like me. Just kidding. And get investors to buy into the project. But you must start. That's the whole point of this conversation. I promise to share this business idea. Something that's on my mind. I'll come to you again on Friday with another business idea. I'm going to share business ideas twice a week. Wednesdays and Fridays. Or maybe what do you guys think? Do you think I should make it Monday and Friday or Wednesday and Friday? Which days do you prefer? Just leave a message in the comment section, and I promise to come to you with all the business ideas that I have in my mind that I would love to do in Cameroon. I'm just going to give them to you for free, okay? You can steal them. I don't mind. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I've over-joked on this podcast. Let me leave it like that. All right. Okay. If you haven't followed us on social media, please make sure that you go and follow us, Young and Independent People on Facebook, and Young and Independent Community as well. That's a page. There's a group and a page. The group is Young and Independent People, and the page is Young and Independent Community. I have no idea why I created a group and a page. I just have no idea why I did it, but I did it. And YouTube, Young and Independent. I hope that I'll soon start making videos of myself with my face, explaining all these amazing things to you guys, and maybe using a whiteboard to really explain how the process should go. I want to see my continent grow, and I want you all to break the yoke of poverty. That's my next book, by the way. Break the Poverty Yoke. Mark this book title, coming out soon. I've put amazing, brilliant ideas inside. Thank you so much for listening. Let me leave it like that. Until next time, do take care. Bye-bye.